All right, today we're putting two database heavyweights in the ring for a head-to-head showdown, Supabase and Singlestore. One is the open-source darling that developers love, and the other is an absolute beast built for real-time analytics. So, let's get right to it.
Look, if you're building any kind of modern app today, your database choice is everything. We're talking about apps that need to be blazingly fast, scale to the moon, and power smart AI features. This isn't just some minor technical detail, it's the foundation of your entire project. You get this right, and you're set up for success. But if you get it wrong, oh boy, you're looking at a total nightmare, probably a complete rebuild from the ground up.
So let's meet our contenders. In one corner, you've got Supabase, which we're calling the open source ally. It's famous for being incredibly developer-friendly and super flexible. And in the other corner, we have Singlestore, the real-time powerhouse, a platform engineered from the start for just insane data intensity and speed. You've got two very different philosophies here, and both are fighting to be the heart of your next application.
To really get what makes these two tick, we have to kick things off with round one, their core architecture. We're going right under the hood because this is what really dictates everything else they can and can't do.
And boom, this slide lays it all out. This is the fundamental split. See, Supabase isn't a totally new database. It's actually a super powerful platform built right on top of the legendary battle-tested Postgres that so many people know and love. Singlestore, on the other hand, was built from the ground up, totally from scratch, as a distributed, scale-out, memory-first engine. It was designed to solve a completely different set of problems.
And this is where it gets a little spicy. It's really interesting to see how Singlestore frames this whole debate. They straight up critique the very foundation Supabase is built on, calling that Postgres model a traditional 20th century single-node disk-based architecture. I mean, that's a direct shot, right? This is the core technical argument, a classic proven model versus a modern distributed first approach.
So, that huge difference in how they're built naturally leads us right into round two, the ideal use case. Where do each of these contenders really, truly shine?
For Supabase, its sweet spot is all about flexibility and how fast you can build things. It is an absolutely fantastic choice for whipping up dashboards, handling subscriptions and payments, powering some really cool AI workflows, and especially for B2B SaaS platforms. And for startups, it's a dream for getting your minimum viable product, your MVP, off the ground without needing a huge back-end team from day one.
Singlestore, though, is playing a totally different game. They pretty much give potential customers a checklist. They ask you, how big is your data? How fast is it all pouring in? How quickly do you need answers from it? How complex are the questions you're asking? And how many people are asking all at once? If your answer is a lot, or insanely fast, to at least 3 of those, then yeah, you're in their wheelhouse.
And believe me, this is not just marketing fluff. Just look at the insane scale their customers are operating at. Heap is wrangling over 2 petabytes of data. IX Cloud handles 1.2 billion requests a day. And Adobe has to query 70 terabytes of data and get an answer in under 5 seconds. I mean, this is the dictionary definition of data intensity.
And all this talk of massive data and speed leads us directly into round 3, which is maybe the most important battleground for modern apps, the AI and vector database battle.
Okay, quick crash course if you're not familiar. A vector database is absolutely crucial for modern AI. It lets you store things like text or images as a series of numbers called embeddings. Think of it like a universal translator for AI. This allows an AI to search for things based on their meaning and context, not just simple keywords. It's the engine behind mind-blowing features like semantic search and what's called retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
So, who's winning this AI race? Well, the answer here might actually surprise you. Looking at data from PeerSpot, Supabase has a pretty commanding lead in mindshare, over 10% in the vector database space. Singlestore is sitting at just over 2%. So even though Singlestore is all about that raw performance, it seems like Supabase's accessibility has given it a huge head start with developers who are jumping into AI projects.
Now, their technical approaches are, of course, totally different. Supabase cleverly leverages pgvector, which is a super popular and powerful extension for Postgres. This makes it incredibly easy for anyone who already knows Postgres to get started with vectors. Singlestore, true to form, provides native, built-in vector support. It was designed from the ground up for maximum performance right in the core of the database.
Okay, for our final round, let's look at 2 things that really matter to the people who are actually building the apps: security and just the overall developer experience. First up on the security front, there's actually a really important similarity. Both Supabase and Singlestore offer what's called row-level security, or RLS. This is an absolutely critical feature for building multi-tenant apps, where you have multiple customers in the same database. It makes sure that users can only see the data they are supposed to see and that security is enforced right at the database level.
But when we start talking about the developer experience, this is where the two paths really diverge again. I love this quote from a user on PeerSpot about Supabase. They said it enables us to lower the skill floor while keeping the ceiling high. That's just perfect, right? It's easy to get started with, but it's still powerful enough to grow with you.
And then you see a review for Singlestore that says, the paramount advantage is the exceptional speed. I mean, you couldn't ask for a clearer, more perfect summary of the trade-off. Are you prioritizing a low barrier to entry and flexibility, or do you just need absolute top-of-the-line, no compromises performance above everything else?
So, after 4 rounds, the bell has rung. It's time for the verdict: who's the champion?
And here's the big takeaway, the crucial point of this whole thing. There is no single champion for every single use case. The best database isn't some universal title. It's just the tool that's the best fit for the problem you're trying to solve right now.
So let's break it down one last time. Nice and simple. Who is the champion? For you. You should choose Supabase if you need flexibility, you're building an MVP fast, or you really value that strong open source foundation. But you should choose Singlestore if your main challenge is just raw data intensity. We're talking massive scale, real-time analytics, and true enterprise-grade performance.
But hold on, there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it's a big one, especially at scale: cost. And that brings us to this number: 60%. What in the world is that about?
Well, a GigaOM study looked at the total cost of ownership, and it found that for those massive data-intensive workloads, Singlestore's all-in-one platform could actually be up to 60% cheaper over 3 years than trying to stitch together a bunch of separate solutions like Postgres and Redshift. So it's an important lesson. Sometimes the high-performance option might actually be the more cost-effective one in the long run.
And that leaves us with one big final question hanging in the air. It's pretty much every application becomes an AI application, and as users demand everything in real time, are these two different worlds, the flexible developer-first model and the high-intensity unified model, going to converge? Or will one of these architectural philosophies ultimately prove to be the dominant one? That's definitely something for all of us to keep an eye on.